Friday, July 3rd, and I am recording this special short episode here in my garage. And it is hot in here, even though it's not spectacularly hot outside. Oh my goodness, let's get to it before I melt. Welcome back to Trent Takes On. I'm the Trent from the title of the show. Look, I felt a little sing-songy there. It's the 4th of July weekend. Technically, the 4th of July is tomorrow. It's the 250th anniversary of the signing of the United States Declaration of Independence, which basically told King George to shove it. We're going to do things our way. So, what better way to celebrate this fine 250th anniversary of that than to talk about one of my least favorite discussions ever, which is patriotism. Because in recent years, patriotism has been co-opted by the right to mean something that it doesn't actually mean. What is patriotism? If you were going to define it, I'm asking you to define patriotism. What do? What do you say? It's like, well, I love my country. Yeah, you love your country. You love what it stands for, right? You love what it is, what it could be, and you're willing to defend it. That's what patriotism is. Loving what you're supposed to have, and being willing to defend it. It's a community thing, you know. We think about community sometimes as, you know, just like the cul-de-sac that I live in, or for me, the apartment complex that I call home. Or if you're in rural America where I grew up, maybe it's just, you know, this little tiny community that goes to this church, you know, or this little tiny town of 1,500 that I grew up in, you know. And the bigger the town, the bigger the quote-unquote communities, or the more communities that there are in it. But if you think about it, a community is just a bunch of people with a shared something in common. And geography in common, right? So if you think about community, first it starts in your little tiny place, wherever you live. And then it expands out from there to your city, to your county, to your state, to your country. It really is all community. It's where you live. It's where your friends, your family live. It's where you've made your memories. It's where you've forged your relationships. It's where you come home to when you go on vacations. And sometimes we move. We move our community. I've never lived outside the United States. I mean, most people who are born here rarely leave, because if you think about the United States, it's, you know, from East Coast to West, and including Hawaii and Alaska, pretty much anywhere you could envision living, we have some place like similar to that, maybe climate-wise. There's so much of the United States, and I've seen so much of it. I get it, you know? Why leave? And more than that, one of the things that makes the United States special is the tremendous amount of personal liberty you have here. Now, that comes with a caveat, of course, because not only do you have personal liberty, but everybody else does too. And some people have a tendency to flex their liberty on you, be it their religious beliefs or their personal beliefs or their weapons of war, because we have a lot of freedoms in this country. And you see, protecting those freedoms and sharing those freedoms, see, that's part of patriotism. The whole point of the United States of America was to break free from a king who got to impose laws upon us, the people who lived here, not us. I wasn't here. I don't even think my ancestors were here yet. I don't know. I'm a good old-fashioned American mutt, to be honest. But the colonists who lived here were trying to forge a life for themselves, for their children, for their children's children, for the generations to come. And some did it in this way and some did it in that way. And they weren't all perfect. And some of them were hypocritical as hell. Talking about you, slave owners. But what they really, really wanted was freedom to forge their own futures. Freedom to create their own communities. Freedom to associate with whomever they want. Freedom to make their own laws. And enforce them their own way. And what we really did 250 years ago, remember that the revolution had already begun. We just made it official. The Declaration of Independence was like, okay, so we came this far and we're not going back. That's what it was. It was a bunch of rich white guys making the calculated risk that if we cast our dice fully, now's the time and we can't go back and we could win this thing. They didn't do it all willy-nilly. They believed in it. I mean, it was still a risk because if you signed your name to that document, you were a dead man if they ever caught you in England. So they were risking plenty, their personal fortunes, their lives. Sure. But in the 250 years since, this country has worked, sometimes hard, sometimes hard against it, but worked to distill the basic promise that the Declaration of Independence makes, and that's that all people are created equal and are given certain unalienable rights from the Creator. They didn't say God, the Creator. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, those things. Now, when they wrote them, they didn't include, black people. They definitely didn't include people of color. They didn't include women. In fact, they didn't even really include poor people. But we have since decided that that's what those words really, really should mean. We've made them better by delivering to them meaning beyond their original meaning. Same thing with the Constitution. We've made it better through amendment and through interpretation. So what is patriotism? And why has the right co-opted it? Why has the American right, the conservative movement, decided that they were the only ones that were patriotic? Because they love guns and the left, quote unquote, doesn't? Which is not true. I know plenty of liberals who own weapons. I've known plenty of liberals over my years that have been avid outdoorsman types, people types with guns and would go hunting and fishing and blah, 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 blah. They appreciated that right. Now, I think that it goes a lot further than that. Because you see, starting back in the late 80s, a lot of people don't remember this, I guess, because a lot of people that I know don't remember this because I don't know a whole lot of conservatives. And I definitely didn't know a whole lot of conservatives in the 80s. But there's this guy named Rush Limbaugh who became a really popular radio host. He was broadcast from coast to coast. What he did was he tried to redefine what it was to be an American. Talked about America all the time. Talked about patriotism all the time. Talked about what it meant to be a real American. What it meant to be a straight, white, Christian American. Male. And that really poisoned a lot of people, including my own grandfather, who was addicted to Rush Limbaugh. It was gross. A lot of people who were otherwise mellow had their, rage button tickled by this guy who talked about the things that made them mad. You aren't getting ahead because, the feminazis are. That was his phrase. He was seriously bigoted, seriously misogynistic, very anti-woman. You know, if that's what it's like to be an American, if that's what it takes to be American, count me out. I was raised by a single mom. I have one sibling. She is a mom. A tough mom, tough as nails. I have had, I'm on my third wife, sad to say. I have 3 daughters. I believe in the power of women. Without question. Women are what really make the world go round. Men, we're along for the ride, sure, to be fair, sure. And we make contributions, but a lot of the times our contributions are to fuck things up because, you know, it's dudes. We do stuff. We're not exactly risk adverse. We get, we get antsy. We got to do stuff. And sometimes, we make mistakes. 47 presidents, 46 individual presidents have, I guess it's 46, have run this country. All of them, men. Only one, not a white man. It's just, it's really something that the right has decided that to be patriotic means you have to love this country regardless of its warts. And it's not the way I ever saw it. You can love this country in spite of its warts. You should. But you should also say, we should do better. One of the most American, the most patriotic things you can do are the things, the kind of things, I don't want to single myself out too much here, but the kind of things that this podcast attempts to do, which is to speak truth to power, to be critical of those who otherwise would just go through life thinking that their poo doesn't stink, if you will. And that's what Donald Trump does. He just kind of floats through life thinking that his shit doesn't stink. He has co-opted the entire 250th birthday celebration that we have been planning for the last 10 years, threw out those plans, took it over for himself, and he's turned it into a total shit show that's all about him. Tomorrow night, he is going to get up there in what he claims will be 107-degree heat, and he's going to give a long speech, a full campaign speech, because he wants to prove that he's tough enough to do it. Okay? Everything about that is stupid. Also, that's not what the 4th of July is about. It's not about campaigning, and it's not about telling other people that if they don't love you, then they're un-American, and that's one of the things that he believes. He believes he can do no wrong. I think that that's just dumb. He does a lot of things wrong all the time. He's both abusive and corrupt and incompetent. So, 3 for 3. Exactly the kind of person that never should have been given that office to begin with. But for me, being a patriot is being able to stand up and say that all of that is stupid. I do love this country. I love it for what it could be. I don't love where it is right now. I don't love the direction that they're taking us right now. I don't care for it at all, to be honest. Fascism is not my cup of tea. I don't like being told who I can care about. I don't like being told that I have to worship a specific God. I don't like being told what books I can or cannot read. I don't like being told what television shows or movies I can or cannot see. I don't like being told which music is allowed. See, those are freedoms. I don't like being told who I can and can't vote for. See, that's a big thing, isn't it? That's a real big thing. Voting is supposed to be easy. It's not just the right of every American citizen over the age of 18. I consider it a duty. It's important that we be at least civic-minded enough to choose people that align with our ethics, with our priorities, that have policy proposals that would make our lives better as a group, as opposed to whatever the hell is going on in Washington, D.C. right now. The tyranny of the minority is what's going on in Washington, D.C. right now. A bunch of people who know that they can't get enough votes. So what are they going to do? They're going to change the way we vote. They're going to change who can count the votes. They're going to change who can accept the votes. They're going to change everything they can about voting to make sure that they continue to win. They will fail. They will fail. They're failing already. You cannot impose a fascist authoritarian dictatorship upon 340 million people who are used to this kind of freedom and liberty. Donald Trump has overstepped his bounds, and he will be told in no uncertain terms the first Tuesday in November that he is wrong, that he's gone too far, and that we need checks and balances in this country the way it's designed to work. Because his cronies in the House of Representatives and in the Senate are about to take a bloodbath this election cycle because the people don't like this. We do not appreciate an authoritarian dictator. We don't like it. Don't care for it. Not at all. We don't appreciate an oligarchy where the billionaires get all of the influence over the levers of power. We don't like that at all. We don't like it when elected officials say they don't care what the public is going through. Oh my God, that should be your number one concern. Donald Trump continues to admit constantly, on tape, in front of anybody, that he doesn't really care what Americans go through. And he thinks that there are two kinds of Americans. There are the real Americans, who are anybody who support him, and then the fake Americans, which is anyone who detracts from him, anyone who calls him out. The funny thing about America, I mean, I guess there are a lot of former colonial states that have broken away and had their independence. But the funny thing about America is we really do pride ourselves on our patriotism. And our patriotism was born out of not obeying the king. This country was born out of not obeying the king. And tomorrow we're going to turn 250 years old on what is our official birthday, which is technically incorrect. The Declaration of Independence was finished, and the first signatures went on July 2nd. I digress. We're about to celebrate our 250th birthday with the closest thing we've had to a mad king in charge since that day in 1776. A person who believes he's above the law, a person who believes that he can act as abusively, as corruptly as he wants, without any fear of accountability. Well, that's not okay. So what are we supposed to do? I guess that's the real question, right? What are we supposed to do on July 4th? Are we supposed to tune in to Donald Trump's 2-hour speech that he's going to begin at 9 p.m. Eastern? Should we tune in for the fireworks display that's going to start at 11 p.m. Eastern, which is going to contain, get this, 800,000 fireworks shells, which is going to be 10 times the normal size of a 4th of July celebration, which health experts are pointing out is going to be extremely dangerous to people with asthma and the elderly. There's a reason we don't shoot off 800,000 fireworks shells in one display. It's really bad. I used to do that shit for a living, my friends. I can promise you, you do not want to breathe a whole lot of that smoke. It is hard on you. And that's when you're young. And when I was young, I was in really pretty good shape. And now, I ain't doing that. But what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to watch that stuff? Are we supposed to go to the great American state fair, ridiculous, that no one else has gone to? No. You want to know how you're supposed to celebrate 4th of July? You're supposed to celebrate it with your freedom. Celebrate the liberty that you've been given by the people who were brave enough to separate us from King George. And I would like to point out, I guess put an asterisk on this whole thing. I grew up in Native America in Oklahoma. And the natives of this country, oh my gosh. So they'll listen to things like this and want to just vomit uncontrollably. And I get you. This is one of those, all I can do is apologize for this is the way it is. The recompense that is due to the natives of this land is immeasurable. We, white Americans, have failed you. Of course, we've also failed Black Americans and other immigrants and all kinds of people. We white Americans have messed up a lot of stuff, especially recently. We need to check ourselves. Wasn't me. I want you all to know that I've always been one for equality and love and togetherness and community. And that's what I think we should all do on the 4th of July. Celebrate in your community the 4th. Celebrate with your friends. Celebrate with your family. Celebrate the fact that you still can. Celebrate the fact that you can still say what you want to say. Celebrate the fact that you can worship what you want to worship, the way you want to worship. You can love who you want to love. Not everybody's going to appreciate all those things. But that's part of your pursuit of happiness. It's part of you being free to live. It's part of your liberty. And that's the first promise that this country made. It took a long time for us to fulfill that promise to people of color. Arguably, we still haven't. We still have not put communities of color on equal footing with communities filled with white people, white folk. We have not fulfilled that promise when it comes to women who are still paid 75, 80 cents on the dollar or less, as opposed to their male counterparts. See, that's the thing. We still got a long way to go. But having seen so much of this country, having met so many people, having made so many friends over my years, I can tell you that there are wonderful people in every corner of this country. Good people. Good people who want what's best for everybody. Celebrate for them. Celebrate for you. Because if you listen to this show to the 3-minute mark, congratulations. You are on Team True Patriot. Team, we actually believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Team Equality, Team Justice, Team America, World Police. Woo, America! F yeah! Watch that movie on the 4th of July. That's a good one. Don't watch it with kids. Trey Parker, Matt Stone are wonderful, by the way. Awesome. Libertarians. But I still respect them because they really believe in it. Thank you for being with me, and thank the Prime truck for backing up across the driveway right behind my garage. Beep, beep, beep. Yep. Don't hit them kids, because I saw 2 of them out there playing earlier. Ay. Hopefully they went inside. I appreciate you all so very much for being with me on this journey. I hope you all have a wonderful 4th of July. Stay safe. Stay strong. Celebrate with your community. Celebrate with the people that you trust. The people you call friend. And if you got to celebrate by yourself, think of it like this. I'm there with you in a weird way. You can replay this as many times as you want. It just makes my numbers look better. I don't really care about the numbers, to be fair. I don't get anything for this pod. I pay to do it. I don't advertise. I don't allow any monetization of this podcast because that's not what it's about. It's about the freedom of speech, about speaking our mind, and about taking on the things that need to be taken on. But you get that. Until next week, thank you all so very much one more time. Share me with a friend. Share me with a foe. Share me with people who are probably going to send me death threats. Please don't do that, actually. That just That's just going to bum me out. I've gotten a few. Anyway, I appreciate you. Please, please, please be good humans. It's the least we can do because we're all in this together. Much love. Stay safe this holiday weekend. Ciao for now.